Hello, so we are from Group 3. So today we are going to present about our case study, which is using to install a smart meter. Okay, so before we start, I'm going to introduce ourselves first. So my name is Dyrand Yesiling, and this is all of my group members, which is NURBATRISYIA SORFINA, Moryok 10, Stewart Elden, and BAVINDRAN. Okay, so this is our presentation outline. So we are going to present about introduction and problem statement first, and then moral problem analysis, option for action, ethical evaluation based on NSPE and ACUK, reflection and recommendation, conclusion, and references. Okay, so right now we are going to present about introduction and problem statement first. Okay, so what is a smart meter? So basically, smart meter is an electronic device that automatically records a household consumption of electricity and gas. It also can send this information wirelessly to the energy supplier at regular interval, such as maybe every 30 minutes, every 5 minutes, every 10 minutes, or and many more, based on supplier that we subscribe. And then smart meter also key component of modernizing a country energy grid. This is because by using a smart meter, actually, we can have a more efficient system compared to a traditional meter. Okay, for example, if we see, if we use traditional meter, it's hard for us to get our data, especially about our consumption that we use in our home at that time. But with a smart meter, we doesn't need to worry about it anymore because with a smart meter, we can directly see how much power consumption that we use in our home, and we doesn't need to call someone or need someone to come to our house to check our meters manually to see how much power consumption that we use. So that's why with a smart meter, is will be one of the key component of modernizing a country energy grid. Okay, so right now, why it's relevant today? So basically, it's relevant because to support the transition away from fossil fuels and to help achieve national net zero emission targets. So we know one of the problem that we face today was uh, greenhouse emission, which is not good for us because uh, by having a greenhouse emission, actually our ozone layer was getting thinner by day. So when our ozone layer getting thinner day by day, our Earth or our world was getting hotter day by day. So that's why it's happened because of the mostly because of the waste of the energy that we use. We because we didn't know how much actually energy that we use or we consume in our home. So because of that, we will waste a lot of energy. So when we lost a lot of energy by using a fossil fuel such as coal and oil, it will make our ozone layer was more thinner than before. So that's why one of the reason why it's relevant today because to support the transition away from fossil fuel and to achieve national net zero emission targets. Okay, and then consumer also can gain a better understanding of their energy use. So as I said before, if we use traditional meter, we doesn't know or we don't know how much power consumption that we use in our home maybe every week or every month. We doesn't know that the way to know that is to call someone to come to our house and then he need to read our meter first and then do some calculation. So after that, so we can know how much power consumption that we use. But we can still get it, but it take a lot of time. So it's not efficient. But with a smart meter, we doesn't need to do that because it can send data wirelessly to our supplier. We can call them and then they can tell us directly about our power consumption that we use, maybe for every 1 month, 1 week. So if we see, for example, if we see our power consumption was high and we waste a lot of energy at that time, we can see uh, one of the way to make sure that we didn't waste a lot of energy anymore because we know how much power consumption that we use because we already understand about our energy use for our home. And then with smart meter also, it's enable a more stable and flexible smart grid. So this is mean that our system was more efficient than before because we can save a lot of time because as I said before, we doesn't need to call someone to come to our house to do some calculation to tell us how much power that we consume for that month. So it can save a lot of time. So when we can save a lot of time, we can have more efficient system, more faster system. So yeah, more details and more data that we can gain at one time and doesn't need to take a long time to gain all of the data. Okay. So right now we are going move to our problem statement. So if we see here, it said that the core ethical problem is how to balance the social benefit of creating a sustainable energy grid with smart meters against the significant risk of this technology that poses to an individual privacy, data security, and right to informed consent. So this is mean that in simple way to tell you about this problem statement is how do we get the benefits from implementing a smart meter without sacrificing the right and the safety of the individual. That's so yeah, that's the simple way to tell you to make sure that you understand about our problem statement or our core ethical problem. Okay. Next, this is the FAB ethic. So this is the five ethical framework that we use for solution to fix our case study problem. So firstly, we are going to model problem statement and then model problem analysis and then option for action. Fourthly is ethical evaluation based on NSPE and CUK. And then lastly is reflection and recommendation. So basically all these five steps will be explained. It will be explained by my group members after this. So they will explain about these five steps more details. So I just going to state to you our main five steps ethical framework that we will use for a solution to fix our problem in this case study.
Greetings and I. So today, in this slide, we will be discussing about the ethical dilemma faced in the case of installing a smart meter in a home. So the moral problem that we're exploring in this slide is, should Sam agree to install a smart meter in his home, knowing it could reduce energy consumption and support environmental goals, but also raises concern about data privacy, long-term costs, and control over personal information. So let's break this point into what is the problem. Sam is unsure whether installing the smart meter is the right choice. On one end, he sees the benefit like lower bills, environmental impact, but also on the other end, he is concerned about who will have access to his personal data and whether there is any hidden cost involved. So, who faces the problem? The person at the center of this issue is Sam, a homeowner and a regular energy consumer. He is just being asked to make an important decision that could affect not only his household but also his role as a responsible citizen. So, what makes this a moral issue? The situation here involves a conflict between individual rights and social responsibilities. Sam must weigh his right to privacy and informed consent against the broader benefits to society, such as supporting the renewable energy goals and reducing carbon emissions. This makes the issue not just technical or financially, but deeply ethical. So, in the next part of our presentation, we will analyze the problem further by identifying the stakeholders, moral values, and key facts involved. Now, let's move on to problem analysis, starting with the key stakeholders involved in this case and their respective interests. First, we have Sam, the homeowner. His main concern um, are around privacy, transparency, and maintaining control over his energy usage and bills. He wants to make sure he's making the right choice, not just for his wallet, but for his personal data. Next, the energy supplier is focused on efficiency and reducing operational costs. Smart meters help them monitor usage more accurately, reduce manpower needs, and manage energy distribution better. Following to the next stakeholder, the government and regulators are pushing smart meter adoption to help meet climate goals and modernize the energy infrastructure. Their interest lies in policy success and environmental impact. Smart meter manufacturers, of course, have a commercial stake. They are interested in expanding the use of their technology and generating profit from sales and contracts. Then there's society at large, which stands to benefit from greater energy efficiency, environmental sustainability, and reduced emissions. Lastly, we must not forget utility workers. With increased automation, many of them may lose their jobs or face changes in their roles, so their livelihood could directly be impacted by this transition. As you can see, this isn't just a technical decision. It's one that affects a wide range of peoples and interests, which make the ethical consideration even more important. Next, we will look at relevant moral values involved in Sam's decision about whether to install a smart meter or not. These values guide our ethical reasoning and help us assess what is right or fair in the situation. The first and most obvious value is privacy. Smart meters collect detailed data about energy usage, which can indirectly reveal personal routines. Sam values his rights to keep that information private and expect that it will be handled responsibly. Secondly, is autonomy. Sam should have the freedom to make an informed decision with pressure from energy providers or misleading informations. Respecting autonomy means giving him full knowledge of the benefits and risk involved in installing the smart meter. Another key value is transparency. Sam needs clear, honest communication from the energy supplier regarding how his data will be used or is there any limitation of the meter and any future costs. We also need to consider sustainability. Sustainability. Smart meters can support more efficient energy use, which contributes to reducing carbon emission and protecting the environment, which is an important value for both individuals and society. Then we have fairness. The impact of smart meter rollouts should not only be unfair, disadvantage to any groups of people, such as low income users who may not benefit equally or workers whose job might not be affected by this automation. Lastly is trust. Trust plays a major role. For Sam to feel comfortable with the technology, he must have confidence in the energy provider's intention and systems, especially when it comes to handling his personal data. So all these values are intention, and that is what makes this a complex ethical issue. In the next section, we will look at the possible options Sam can take and how these values come into play. But before that, let's look into relevant um, facts. So first, smart meter collects roll-time data, typically every 30 minutes. This helps homeowner to monitor their usage and allows suppliers to balance energy loads more efficiently. Secondly, installation is usually free, but there could be a hidden long-term costs, which such as higher tariff or limitations when switching energy providers. Some meters may even stop working fully or go down if you change suppliers. Third, smart meters contribute to environmental goals by encouraging energy conservation and enabling smart grid technologies, which are essential for integrating renewable energies and electric vehicles. However, there are valid concerns about data privacy and cybersecurity as well. Usage data can reveal daily habits, such as when someone is at home or away, which may raise a serious privacy risk if it's been sent out. Lastly, it is important to note that smart meter performance and data policies can vary by region and supplier, meaning users like Sam needs clear and transparent information before making an informed decision. So these facts are crucial in helping us understand the bigger picture and it will guide us in evaluating the ethical aspect of the case. So next, we will look for option of actions. Thank you.
Are we presenting about option for action? To address the ethical dilemma of smart meter installation, we are present four key options, which is ranging from mandatory rollout to fully informed voluntary adoption. which is each reflecting different balances between public good, privacy, and individual autonomy. As you can see here, we got 4 points here, which is mandatory installation, which everyone must accept a smart meter, no choice offered. Opt-in only, consumer choose to have a smart meter voluntarily. Next is default install with opt-out. Smart meters are installed by default, but consumer can refuse. Lastly is transfer rollout plus awareness campaign, which is smart meters are offered but with clear public information and choices. Is comparison of ethical options. So here is this comparison highlights how each option perform in terms of public benefits, privacy protection, cost effectiveness, and practical implementation, which is enable a clear ethical evaluation of the most responsible path forward. As you can see here, mandatory for public good is high, privacy is low, cost is efficient, and practically is easy to implement. Next is opt-in, which is public good is moderate, privacy is high, cost is slower rollout, and practically is less efficient. Default plus opt-out, public good is balanced, privacy is moderate, cost is cost effective, and practically is a good compromise. And lastly is transparency plus campaign, which is public good is high, privacy is high, cost is costly, and practical is slower but ethical.
Now I'll present the ethical evaluation part. We have 3 NSP Code of Ethics evaluation. The first one is Canon 1.1. How paramount the safety, health, and welfare of the public. Smart meters should not endanger public welfare. If data collection jeopardizes privacy or security, this canon is violated. Solutions must ensure that robust cybersecurity and data protection. The second one is Canon 2.1c. Engineers shall not reveal facts, data, or information without consent, except as required by laws. Mandatory installation without explicit consent may breach this principle. Opt-in or opt-out with clear communication and respect user consent. The third one is Canon 3.2d. Engineers shall continue their professional development and provide public understanding of engineering achievements. Engineers must support awareness campaign, educating users on how smart meters work and their implications, promoting informed choices. As for the SUK Statement of Ethical Principles, there are 3. Honesty and the first one is honesty and integrity. Engineers must communicate clearly and truthfully. Default installations without clear communication may appear deceptive or coercive. The second one is respect for life, law, and the environment and public good. Protecting user data and promoting energy efficiency aligned with public goods. However, ignoring user consent undermines this principle. Engineers must balance both. The third one is leadership and communication. Engineers shall guide ethical implementation, raise concerns about privacy risk, and lead on public engagement and education efforts. Now, how can engineers support ethical decision making? The first one is advocate for informed consent. Engineers can push for systems that require clear user communication and consent before data collection begins. They can design interfaces or workflows that ensures users understand their choices. The second is design with privacy in mind. Privacy by design. From the outset, engineers should implement strong data protection encryption and minimal data collection practices. They should assess and mitigate risk during the design phase, not after the deployment. The third one is challenge ethical practices. If engineers witness practices that violates user rights, such as coercive installs or misuse of data, they should speak up internally or to relevant authorities per ECUK and NSPE guidance. The fourth one is promote transparency and privacy engagement. Public engagement, Engineers should lead public education efforts explaining how smart meters work. how data is used, and the safeguard in place. This builds public trust. Last but not least, uphold codes of ethics in every decision. By referencing and applying standards like NSPE and ECUK, engineers ensure their technical decisions align with broader moral responsibility, which is to society, user, and also the profession.
So I am BAVINDRAN son of MUTHURAJU, and today I'm here to explain about the reflection, recommendation, and conclusion. So let's have a look on the reflection first. First and foremost, installing a smart meter may seem like a purely technical or cost-related decision, but through our ethical analysis, we discover the hidden complexity with in such everyday choices. Privacy concern, environmental sustainability, and fairness all come into play. So as engineer, we often focus on the technical solution, but this case show us the importance of stepping back and considering broader social responsibilities. Uh, for an example, Sam concern wasn't just about the device, but about who control its data and how it's used and whether he has a genuine choice. So basically, the role of the engineer, represented by by Alex in the case, goes beyond offering technical advice. So engineers must also think ethically, balancing innovation with the public trust and well-being. So basically, as an engineer, we must satisfy user recommendation. So the next part is about the recommendation. As we see in the recommendation, Sam should install the smart meter, but with caution. I think it supports the energy efficiency and long-term maintenance goals, but careful choices are crucial. So Sam also must choose a provider with strong data protection policies. So Sam should ensure his personal use data is not misused or shared without his consent. If affordable, Sam can make his personal action with broader climate goals and engineering values. About the fourth one, Sam should regularly check if his rights are being upheld, especially regarding privacy and cost. Uh, so the final recommendation is engineer must lead by example. So Alex, as an engineer, should use his opportunity to promote ethical awareness, not just to Sam, but to the wider community. So that's all from the recommendation for the conclusion. To conclude, the choice to install a smart meter is more than a yes or no question, but it reflects deeper ethical tension between progress and privacy, efficiency, and fairness. By using ethical frameworks like NSPE or ECUK, we found that technology must be implemented with respect for human values. Smart meters are indeed a step forward, a smarter, greener future, and environmental friendly, but only we ensure clear communication, strong privacy protection, and genuine public choices. So, as future engineers, it's our duty to uphold these values not just in design, but in every decision we influence and make. So, thank you so much. So, that's all from me.